Hello Internet, and welcome to a new preset pack. So in today's video, I'm really happy to share with you the release of my Sylenth1 Psychedelic Impressions preset pack. Now, this pack means a lot to me because, as you might know, I really love Sylenth1. And actually, it was one of the first soft synth that I've ever used and that I've ever bought. So yeah, this preset pack is some sort of tribute to one of the synthesizers that has been always there for me and that made me fall in love with sound design and with what I do right now. So yeah, with that said, let's dive into this preset pack. So when you will open the preset pack, you'll get 70 presets. You'll get 20 ARPS, 10 atmospheres, 22 SFX or like one-shot effects. You'll get 8 sweeps, you will get 7 drums, and you will get 3 bass lines. Now, as with most of my presets, these sounds has been designed between C0 and C2. So they, from my perspective, sound best between C0 and C2, but that doesn't mean that you should limit yourself to C0 and C2. And yeah, with that said, let's start listening to the presets. Now, for the arpeggiated leads, if you're using Ableton, I highly suggest using a Maxwell Live device like Autoplay or maybe Rhythmizer from Futurephonic, because with them, you'll get the groove easier and you can get, some extra stuff like random velocity. But if you don't use Ableton, it's completely okay. We can bypass Autoplay and we can use the internal arpeggiator of Sylenth1. All what we have to do is play with the gate. But yeah, as I'm in Ableton, I'll use Autoplay. So I'll turn off the internal arpeggiator of Sylenth1, turn on Autoplay. As you can see, we already have random gate going to Sylenth1. We have random velocity going to Sylenth1 because, as you can see here, we have some velocity modulation. And we're playing the note of E1 in here because the track or the project is in E. So the first preset, arpeggiated squelch, sounds like this. Pretty straightforward, arpeggiated squelch. Now, the next preset is psychedelic anime. Turn off the internal arpeggiator, sounds like this. Pretty weird stuff with the kick and bass. Pretty crazy. Now the next preset, glassy birds. Trippy birds. So what I've done in here, I've just added a simple low cut in here to take off the nasty low frequencies as the usual. And I've sent some of the signal to my send channel here, on which I have Echo Boy set to 1/8 dotted ping pong. Actually, it's not dotted. Now it's dotted ping pong. Nothing too special. Pretty classic stuff. So yeah, next preset is Fake River. Sounds like this. Fake River. Now, Psychedelic Jungle. Sounds like this. pretty weird stuff. Now, let's move on. Our twisted dimension sounds like this. Pretty weird and twisted stuff, yeah. Now, Galactic poems. Filter freak. Yeah, some pretty weird filter FM stuff. Now, Spungle sounds like this. Droplets. Healing crystals. Squelchy fields. Organica. Birdie. Some pretty organic stuff right there. Yeah, Psychedelic Cave. So as you can see in this preset, there's some mod wheel modulation going on. So yeah, we need to play with the mod wheel and see what it'll do. Pretty cool nighttime sounds. Yeah, pretty nice. Now, birds and rivers. Yeah, we can maybe, like, for example, add a phaser after the sound and like get some pretty weird stuff. Something like actually the new phaser from Ableton sounds pretty dope. So yeah, maybe you can do something like that. Pretty crazy stuff, right? Now, let's move on. Liquid carols. So I think, for example, with this one, we can go an octave lower too. Way better. Let's go an octave higher again and change the preset. Melting notes. Yeah, some time melting stuff. Not like last Sunday's tutorial, but almost. So space insects. And the last ARP is Trippy Cloud. Sounds like this. I can take it one octave lower directly. Yeah, weird stuff. Let's add some phaser. Yeah, it's pretty organic stuff. And yeah, with this, these were the ARPs. Let's move on to the atmospheres. So, collapsing dimensions. Actually, there's an ARP on it, so I think it's something pretty interesting. Let's see. Let's turn on the ARP. Check this out. Yeah, it's like being in Inception, you know, something, and, you know, having, you know, the city falling apart and you stuff. I hope you got the reference, but yeah, anyways, collapsing dimensions. Yeah, let's move on to Broken Spaceship. Let's turn off autoplay, the equalizer, and we have this. As with most of these presets, I've added the delay and reverb from Sylenth1, but you can for sure use whatever reverb you would like. And I will actually demonstrate with Black Hole, because, you know, I love it too much, and it sounds pretty dope. So I'll turn off the internal reverb, and we have this. broken spaceship. And now, orbital crickets. Crickets in the orbit. Radiation land. You can make some pretty interesting melodies with it too. Now, deep orbit. Yeah, we just went into the deepest black hole in the outer space. Anyways, lunar tunnels. Squelchy patterns. Underground machinery. Pretty dope. Whistle. And the last atmosphere, orbital chaos. Chaos. Now, let's start with the sound effects, or like one-shot effects. So, drifting. So let's see in the context with the kick and bass. Should sound like this. Maybe with some more delay. Weird sweep. And with the kick and bass. It's one of these. Actually, there's some presets like this one. It's a one-shot effect, but every time you hit it, it's going to play a slightly different sound. So it could be really nice to like maybe render out 10 of these and put them wherever you like in your track, so you will get some sort of movement, and you won't get the same static sound. Just to get something a bit moving, groovier and somehow, if that makes sense. So yeah, that was the weird sweep. Now, flowing liquids. Pretty straightforward with the kick and bass. So it, again, playing almost the same thing, but a little bit different. So, you can use many in your track and people won't get bored, if that makes sense. Yeah, now, triplet squelch. Shiz. I think this one should be like this. Yeah, Galactic stutter. Another squelch. Pretty classic stuff. What do you mean? And with the kick and bass, it means this. Alligator. Let's take down some of the nasty lower frequencies. And with the kick and bass. Pretty nice. Helium squelch. Let's take down the equalizer. Nice. Now we have cartoon cometa. Let's take down the nasty low frequencies, and we have this. Pretty nice. Organic squelch. Pretty nice. Error. Error. And then we have chopper. Chopper. Stringy. So as you can see in here, we have some velocity modulation going on. So it'll change, with the velocity. So I'll play from like softer notes to really harder notes, if that makes sense. So we have this. Wait, as you're not seeing me playing my push, I'll do it right in here. So let's hear what's going on. Yep, some pretty subtle change, but it's there. Now we have the reptile. Sounds like this. telephone. You can try play it in other octaves. Pretty weird telephone. Now we have organic robot. Let's go up an octave in here. Another example of these presets that you play a lot. Every time you play it, it'll change. It'll have some subtle changes to it. Now, hard squelch. The classic squelch. So, mod wheel conversations. So yeah, as the name suggests, we need to play with the mod wheel. So let's see what we have. And with the kick and bass. And the last, one of the last sound effects, H2O in phase. And again, mod wheel. Since I've written mod wheel, we need to play with the mod wheel. Let's see what we have. Pretty nice. Now, let's hear with the kick and bass. Now we have a squash indeed. Pretty nice and glitchy thingy. I've just played it in different octaves to hear the different, how playing different notes will change the timbre of the sound. Now with the kick and bass, we'll have this. Pretty nice. Now let's move on to the sweeps. So Angry Bird mod wheel. Okay, what do we have in here? Some pretty classic stuff. Speed of light. So speed of light will key track, as you can see. So every time we will play a different note, the sound should change. Pretty nice. Now we have a classic jet. Classic stuff. So classy one and mod wheel. You need to play with the mod wheel. Pretty nice. Space bike and with mod wheel. Let's see what we have. Pretty nice. and 70 spaceship mod wheel. We can actually make a lead out of it just by playing with the mod wheel. Or a sweep. And then it has an arpeggiator, as you can see. And celestial body mod wheel. Pretty nice. Let's take off this equalizer and space bikes. As you can see, the sound will change when you change the note that you're playing. So this is pretty nice. And now we start with the drums. So Jedi Sword. Yeah, nano style percussion thing. Jedi Sword V2. As you can see, with Jedi Sword, the velocity will modulate, the cutoff. So, if the sound should change when we, change the velocity. Same for Jedi Sword version 2. Pretty nice. Now we have a hat. We can take off the arpeggiator. So actually, when the arpeggiator is on, the velocity will be taken from, the step, so you'll actually get a groove. And when the arpeggiator is off, the velocity will determine, the sound of, how the volume of the hat. Now, hat number 2. Same thing. Velocity will determine the volume. So when the arpeggiator is on, we have a groove going on. When the arpeggiator is off, it's just the volume. Then we have a snare. Pretty classic analogish sound snare. And we have a kick. The kick sounds really good between C2 and C3, and that's an exception. And actually, if we look at the kick on a scope, we'll get this. I'll use, size scope. We'll do it really good. And it's free. So I'll take my main kick pattern here. I'll put it on for Sylenth1 and check this out. So actually we can add some sort of, LFO tool to modulate the volume of the kick, and, we'll get some classic psytrancey, modern kick with it. I really love how it sounds actually, so that's pretty cool. We can still make, kind of modern sounding kicks with Sylenth1. And kick 2 is more of a, more old schoolish. So yeah, that's pretty nice. Now we have the bass lines. So for the bass lines, I'll just use the pattern that I have in here. Pretty classic pattern, nothing too special. I'll copy it from the bass line, BST in here. I'll set it to Sylenth1, and the first bass line sounds like this. And we have the mod wheel controlling some of the parameters. Pretty nice. And now with the kick, we'll get this. Pretty nice. Now, kick, bass number 2, we have this. pretty nice. And again, the mod wheel is controlling some of the parameters. And the last bass, let me take it one octave lower. Nice and pretty nasty bass line. And yeah, this is the last preset of this tutorial. I really hope you've liked it. And if you want to support me and support the channel and help me make more psychedelic content, whether it's music or tutorials, you can consider buying my preset packs on Gumroad or becoming one of my patrons. And by the way, all my patrons has a special discount on all of my Gumroad store. And yeah, or you can always leave comment, like, subscribe, you know, the good stuff. And yeah, have a great one, everyone.